Hey
Hi guys!
guys, welcome back to a new episode of Free Therapy.
Yes, we're back with a new topic that I'm really excited to talk about, which is love languages.
hmm So,
So,
for today's episode, as Elena already introduced, we're gonna be talking about love languages from different perspectives and just some questions that we would like to put for each other and to answer, and as usual, go into a discussion with explanations and examples.
so first of all, let's get the terms out of the way. Most of us, but maybe not all of us, know what a love language is or what the love languages are. So we searched a little scientific definition, so we're more precise, and not give away like false information. So the term of love language refers to to the way that a person prefers to express love to and receive it from a partner.
Yes, so basically, it's just the way that it's a preference for each single person of the way they would like to express how they love. Doesn't matter in what kind of relationship, could be a friendship even, or relationship to a
Mm-hmm.
family member or whatever. It doesn't have to be romantic. And the way you would like to receive that love to be expressed towards you, because even though you know maybe that the other person loves you, you would like to receive that in some way to confirm it more, because you would feel more maybe loved in that way, because it's like an act. It's not just, yeah, I know the person loves me.
Yes.
So this is the definition of a love language, but what are the love languages?
So, first of all, I mean, not first of all, it's no ranking. Just the love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, gift receiving and giving, quality time, and physical touch.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about each of these love languages a bit more detailed and say what they actually mean as well, while giving examples and saying our own or giving our own opinions about them. So the first love language that Elena mentioned is words of affirmation. So basically, words of affirmation is just expressing each other's love in a verbal way with affirmations that confirms a statement. For example, maybe complimenting someone for their looks, even though, for example, let's say I'm friends with Elena, even though I see Elena as a beautiful human from the outside and from the inside, and she knows that, it would be maybe for me a way of expressing this love in words towards her, to show it by saying that she looks beautiful, or wow, I like your makeup, or wow, your style today looks really nice. Stuff like that.
Or like through letters, maybe.
Yeah,
If
like
you write your lover a
in
letter.
any form,
Yes.
in any communication form, just with words verbally, to show it verbally. And it doesn't have to be physical, of course. It could be maybe saying, like, I'm so proud of you for what you have achieved the
Yes,
last
exactly.
time, etc.
The next love language that we mentioned was act of service. And that would be like when someone does something for you to show their love, of course, again. For example, your friend or your mom or your partner cooks your favorite meal because I don't know, you had a long day and you come home and they want to show their love and appreciation towards you by cooking you a warm meal and making you feel appreciated and loved by it because oh, I thought that you were hungry and tired, and yeah, I just wanted to make you feel better, Loki.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the third love language that we mentioned was receiving or giving gifts. And the name explains itself. We don't have to explain it, but this love language is more about,
The
it's not
meaning
about
of
the value, like how
yes,
much you paid on the gift. It's more about
the
the
thought.
thought and the intention behind the stuff that you bought, basically, or that you are receiving. It's like just a symbolic gesture that maybe the person just thought of you when they saw this specific book or this specific game or t-shirt, and they were like, wow, I think they would like it. Like,
Yes.
that's basically the intention behind it that matters.
Or even like, oh, I saw this snack in the grocery shop while I was there, and I thought, oh, it's their favorite snack. Let me give it.
Yeah.
Let me buy it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. The next one is quality time. Again, not much to explain. It's just when you love spending time with your partner, no matter what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a planned date, a specific romantic activity. It could just be literally grocery shopping, or, oh,
Yeah.
do you want to come by my house? We chill together
Mhm.
today.
It's just about a meaningful conversation, a good connection with the other person, just sharing memories, experiences, opinions, without no distractions like your phones or something that would make you distracted from being connected with the other person, basically. Like, you forget about everything existing around you and you just connect with each other.
But also, like, spending time with each other, but doing different things. Like, just you feel so safe spending time with them, but you're working and they're working in the same
Yeah,
time.
of
But
course,
you feel so good
that's something
spending
else. Yeah,
time in
yeah.
the same room, or I don't know, you feel so safe.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. And the last one is physical touch, basically. Like,
Also, not so much to explain. It's
when you love
just
the touch of, you need to have a grip on them.
like a closeness, a touch of the other person. Could be a hug, a back rub,
Feet
holding
rub.
holding hands, etc. It maybe just makes the person feel more like secure.
And connected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
For the first actual question in this episode, I would like to hear from you. What do you think my love language is? And then I will give you my example for you. And
Like
why?
your number one, basically.
My number one. What do you think my number one love language is? Because you know me, and
Yeah.
I want to hear why.
To be honest, this is a tough question because I'm lost between two love languages to choose between for Elena. But
Which ones? And
I
then
think the one that would win is words of affirmation, in my opinion.
and which one was the other one though? So
Physical touch.
okay. Why?
Even
oh,
though it's difficult because it's like I also have gift receiving and giving there as well, but I don't know, I feel like these two are above it.
mhm.
And still, like, words of affirmation are like at the first place,
But
in my
why?
opinion, for you. So I mean, I don't want to go into so much details maybe to expose stuff. I'm just gonna give like a general reasoning about the whole thing. So basically, I know Elena, of course, for like about 4 years, and I'm not just talking about words of affirmation maybe in our friendship. I'm really talking about words of affirmation being on your top one in any kind of relationship you would have. If it was just on a friend's side or in your family or with an actual partner, like in a romantic way. First of all, because of the stuff I got to know about you while you are experiencing romantic relationships, on the other side, my friendship with you, and then, of course, experiences with your family. To break it down, first of all, the romantic relationship, I feel like for you, it's really important in a relationship that you always somehow get, for example, specific compliments or encouraging statements, you know. I feel like that's really important for you in a romantic relationship, to get to receive like compliments from your partner, or just to hear words from them that maybe encourage you and support you in some way. And then on a friendship side, I feel like it's not so much physical, it's more about the support that you get through words of affirmation that maybe pushes you to do more stuff and be more motivated, for instance. And that also applies the same way in relationship with your family or family members, because maybe not just the type of encouraging statements, but also compliments that maybe in your family is not that common to say, for
wait
instance.
a minute. Okay.
I think you get what I mean. But
do.
I thought of that instantly. That's why I wanted to include everyone in this. Like, I
Yes.
wasn't really just talking about one side of relationships. And I feel like literally the word choice could ruin your whole ass day or
Yes,
relationship
like
with a
it kind of
person.
happened yesterday. When the
That's why-
words, when the wrong words are being used, it really stuck with me. Like it
Yeah.
really bothers me, and I think about it. And if you don't really reassure me back, put me back on track, and I don't know, I have to deal with the fucking words, get to forget them and forgive them. It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it should be on the first place. At the
Okay,
first place.
okay, that's valid. I get
Yeah.
it. Even though it's so hard to rank them and to choose one, it's a valid answer.
Yeah.
I give you that one. For me, I think your top love language is acts of service.
For real?
wait. Let me explain
Yeah,
myself.
explain,
Actually,
Because I was just about to say, like, I don't know. I feel like it's like now I was thinking about you thinking about my love language, and I was like, damn, that's a tough one. Because I'm not even like that sure about it.
oh. Well,
But
we'll talk
yeah,
about that
yeah.
later. What you're
We'll
sure
talk
and not
about it
sure
later.
about. But I think it's acts of service because, as you said, in any kind of relationship, I feel like you really show your love in this specific love language. For example, in our friendship, basically that's kind of how we the grounds we build our friendship on.
Yeah.
You helping me,
Yeah.
and in a really like thoughtful way, like of course you kind of included my love language in
Yeah.
it. You were like reassuring me like verbally, and I felt safe, and then you expressed the love towards me and care that you kind of wanted to, I don't know, show it to me
Mhm.
by actually acting up and helping me, because I was like at a really low state in life, and you just helped me with like paperwork and I don't know, also hanging out and whatever, that's other stuff. But yeah, I think you really do that in a friendship, like help, I don't know, paperwork in general, I don't know, kind of good at this kind of stuff. And the fact that it annoys you to do paperwork, but you do it for the person
Yeah.
because you love them, it shows a lot.
That's true.
And you also do this in your family. because as we talked before about this immigrant kind of thing,
Mhm.
even though you're maybe in a fight with your parents, you're like, no, I have to do this, my dad asked me to, or
Yes.
whatever. It's kind of like, or your brother.
Mm.
How many times, oh my god, I'm sorry, Emil, how many times you were talking shit basically about him, like he can't do shit, blah blah, and then you were filling
I
up
still-
papers
yeah.
for him.
I still do that. That's really right. I give you that one as well.
But also in like romantic relationships, I feel like you get so crafty, and that's something I can't reveal yet. But not just this kind of stuff, like that this guy right here crocheted me a whole ass bag with no reason. There was no birthday, no Christmas, nothing. I crocheted you something that I haven't asked for, but he just wanted to do something for me because he knew I liked and I wanted a bag and whatever. And he saw this whatever pattern and thought that I would like it. Like this is what I mean. And
Yeah.
also in like romantic relationships, I feel like you get so crafty and you want to put your whole I'm not gonna use that word, but yeah, you put your whole heart in the crafting you do, whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I could also categorize that more in the acts of service rather than gift giving. Because even though it's like there's also like an intention behind it that could be seen as a gift, it's more like seen as an act since it's like mostly DIY'd, and I'm just doing it for the sake of like making
The
you happy.
validation you get afterwards. Oh my god, you did this for me.
Yeah,
Like-
it makes me happy.
It
though.
kind of
Like,
like, of
it's
course.
satisfying, not gonna lie, and doing also something that the other person, I know that the other person would love and would use and would like, is also satisfying at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
But now, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it so you can start
Yeah.
though. We want to rank our love languages, like each one of us. Now that we talked about like our top one from the other's perspective,
Mhm.
I'd like to hear what exactly is the ranking of your love languages. What is the top one, and then go like 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is really a tough one, as
Oh, but
I
should
already
we start
mentioned.
with the 5th or?
oh, yeah, I
Yeah?
like that.
But then when you go to the 3rd, you just say the first one.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah?
I don't spoil it when I say
Exactly.
the second. Okay.
So 5th.
So as I mentioned, this is really tough for me because I haven't had that much experience in the discovery of my love language, or to say more specifically, I haven't really even thought about it. Like, I haven't asked myself, what is my love language actually? So maybe this is like the second or third time I think about it. So this could also change with the time,
Yes,
but for
of
now,
course. I stand by that
yeah,
as well.
for now, with all of the experience that I've had, this ranking came as a result. So at 5th place, I have quality time.
Oh,
That's
damn.
that one has a kick to it.
Actually,
Yeah.
why?
So
Short.
I put it in 5th place, at fifth place, because I feel like all the other categories, if they are there in the person, you would already have like the type of quality time with them
Mhm.
without having it as a specific category. You know
like
what I
without
mean?
being physical.
Yeah, like
You feel like they're there without actual.
yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay, valid. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if I get my words of affirmation and I get physical touch from time to time, or receive and send gifts and all the other stuff, it's not that important for me to be having quality time because it's kind of coming through with all those other love languages.
You know what this says about you? That a long distance relationship would work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's literally the definition.
Yeah, like of
I don't
course
know.
I'm not saying like I wouldn't like to have quality time with my partner. Like
Of course, but you said
I would
from
love
time
it.
to time, so that's a long distance relationship.
Yeah, I just think it would work for me that way. So in fourth place, I have
Oh my god.
acts of service.
Oh, okay.
I put acts and service in at fourth
Oh, and I put it
place. Yeah.
first. Okay.
That's why I was like, okay. I haven't really thought about it in that way, like you explained it, to be honest. Like
Okay.
now that I think about it like that, it becomes maybe even a bit more important for me. But at the same time, I'm like, not sure, because I feel like I'm more connected with the with the other love languages. No. Um. So about acts of service, of course, the acts that I would be doing would be like speaking louder. Like my actions would be speaking louder than the actual words that I would say, because at the end of the day, what's the point of just blah 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 and not doing anything, you know?
Yeah, okay.
But I'm still, as I said, feeling more connected with the other love languages. So in third place, I have physical touch. Physical touch is in fourth place. Third, sorry. I feel like it's important, but at the same time, not that like necessary. You know, like of course I would like to hug a friend. Like if I take this for example in our friendship, you know, like of course we hug when we see each other, or like from time to time when someone gets emotional or is sad or something, I hug you or you hug me, but I don't think it's like necessary to do it like every minute, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, let me give you a hug. You know, like, no, thank you. Like, I feel that's why I put it at third place. Like, it's in the middle. It's
Mhm.
not that important, but it's also not
Okay, yeah.
that bad to do. And
First.
second, oh,
No,
in
the
first
first
place,
one.
that would be ah, I'm so my mind is all scrambled. But I think I would put gift giving or receiving.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually valid from my point of view, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not my first, though. But let me hear your thoughts.
I feel like words of affirmation are really also important for me, but at the same time, sometimes I'm bad at expressing myself in words because I feel weird or I cringe at myself or shy
Oh.
because I'm not so used to it, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Like from my experience, for example, now for instance with my family, I'm not really used to words of affirmation, and I grew up to have to learn it by myself and teach myself to use words of affirmation toward other people. But sometimes I'm still like feeling maybe weird about it, or like if I have a romantic experience with like words of affirmation and I have to come and tell Elena, sometimes I be skipping some parts and deleting those sentences I said because I'm just cringing at myself. That's why I feel like for me it's maybe more easy and important to show my love in an action of giving or receiving a gift,
Mhm.
because words are not enough for me sometimes. And just the as we mentioned before, the intention behind gift giving, the fact that someone actually thought of you while buying the gift, I feel like it's so cute and tells so much about the person. Basically that they literally have you on mind 24/7, that they would have even thought of you while seeing something and remembering a small detail, like you are important for them. So that was my ranking. Now we move on to Elena's.
Okay, so it's a bit different than yours, but
A
let's
bit.
go. Um, the fifth one would be acts of service.
Oh.
It's like I love doing stuff for people. Like I love cooking for people.
Mhm.
I think I even asked you
You
about
sent me a
this.
TikTok this
I
morning.
sent you a TikTok about it. Like, what do you think my love language is, or
and I
something?
said cooking.
Yeah, he said cooking, and that's valid as fuck. Also, I like when I cook to give the other person the prettiest plate
Yeah.
and shit like that. Like things like this, or sometime when I hang out with someone, I like starting, I don't know, randomly tidy their room. Like just do something, organize, or I love organizing actually. I'd love organizing things for people
Not
and
my
just
room. You never organized my room.
once you were out of the house and I started cleaning, but you came home too fast.
Oh, true. I remember. Yeah.
I was about to eat that shit up. Anyways, fourth is, even though it's kind of, I wish I could put it more high because it's really important for me. It's gift giving and
No
receiving.
way.
I put it fourth, yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Just because recently I started talking to people about love languages and they all started bragging about physical touch. Even though, let me give you a spoil. Oh no, I'm not giving. So I love gifting people stuff. I don't know. Whoever knows me knows that I go big on Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
I love, I don't know, getting my time, and I could spend hours browsing through stores and online, and just sometimes it just comes so fast, an idea, but if it doesn't, I take so much time thinking about what would they like. Even though there's some people you don't spend enough time with them, sometimes I still eat that shit up and I'm giving them something, and I love the validation I get afterwards. Not gonna lie, so satisfying as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, it's kind of shocking for me as well to put it forth
Yeah.
because I love that
Really?
shit. But I'm gonna give you some explanations later. The third one is quality time.
Now I
Even
saw that coming after putting the
yeah.
gift giving at fourth place.
I love spending time with people when I get to know maybe like a partner, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like having the situationship kind of moment. I love being with them as much as I can. And sometimes it's hard when people don't have the same love languages as you, because there's a lot of people taking their time to focus on themselves and they love spending time by themselves, which I do as well. But when I like someone, I like spend so much time with them. So third, but still it's so hard to rank. It's not that, like, the whole list right now could be rearranged many
Tomorrow.
times. Tomorrow,
Like, literally.
literally, yeah, exactly. But the first one, words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah, you kind of got that
I
right.
know that one.
But yeah, because I really like being reassured, and not just words of affirmation, but communication in general.
Yeah, it also includes communication skills.
Yeah, it's so
Words of
so
affirmation.
important for me to be straight up with me and tell me how you feel and if you need space, or how did I made you feel. I like people telling me, like, not just compliments like, oh, you look like this, or I'm proud of you, even though those are valid as well. I like people telling me, like, I've changed because of you, or you made me feel like this,
Mm-hmm.
and yada yada. And yeah, the second one is physical touch, but just not in a friendship, family situation, more in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as I said, it could change. Like, literally, I could redo it right now if I could, not even tomorrow.
Yeah.
It depends
Same.
of the situations and everything. I think anytime I will have this conversation with someone, giving them my love languages, it will depend on what state in life I am in that moment.
Yeah, I think it would be the same for me.
But I have a question for everybody, not
Mhm.
just you. Is it important to know your love language though?
Mm.
Like, some people have a really hard time expressing this, and as we said, like, it's so confusing and hard to choose one
Yeah.
because it always has to be a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's always like connected. Every category is connected with the other one somehow. Like it leads to it.
But as you said, you barely talked about it. So is it important to know it actually?
I feel I feel like it is important to discover it at some point and try to experience more stuff so you can just come up to a point where you're like, I feel more reassured and more loved through this language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it just has so much more beneficial advantages for you being in a friendship or a relationship or even reconnecting with your family. Like you said, for example, on the communication side, you know, like some people wouldn't care a lot about maybe communication when it comes, like right now, for example, I'm talking about long distance. Some people wouldn't care that much about communicating with their partners on a daily or like each hour or something like that. That could say a lot about like words of affirmation, for example, that it's not
Mm-hmm.
really on top for them. Like maybe for someone they have such self confidence that they don't need anyone to just give them validation, you know? They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, thank you for saying I look good or that you're proud of me, but I know that myself."
Oh.
You know, like that type.
Yeah, yeah.
In that case, the words of affirmation are not on top for them. And that's good for the person to know for themselves because it's important to also somehow rank them. You know, even though it's hard, and as we said, each language leads to the other, it's also good to somehow just rank them and see what is more important for you because that would also be good when getting to know someone else. So you see if your love languages are somehow matching because I think that's important. Like if someone else's love language, let's go on with the same example I was saying. Someone's love language is not words of affirmation. Like it's, let's say, at fifth place. And they met someone that they're interested in, but that someone's love language is words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
That would be bad if the other one doesn't really know their love language.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean? Because their partner would like to receive words of affirmations from them, even though it's not their love language. And at the same time, it's good to let your other partner know that your love language is also not words of affirmation. Like they need to do more than that for them. You know what I mean?
yes, but look, I'm I agree with you that it's important for someone to know their love language, but not really labelize it.
What do you mean?
Like, not be like, ah, yeah, my love language is this. Maybe they know how to express their love towards the other person. Like, let's stick with your example, okay?
Okay.
So one person has the love language, words of affirmation, and the other one doesn't. But in the getting to know each other stage, you have to have at least a bare minimum, um, like, oh my god, you have to have like a bare minimum um you have to have like a bare minimum skill in communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to show, to tell the person, oh, I'm not so I'm not so good at expressing myself, and you let them know. But what's important is to know what makes you feel good and what makes me feel
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
and
That's
kind of give it to them because you love them.
exactly, that's what I meant. Like, that's why you should actually discover your love language and see in what category you see yourself more expressing your love, and in which category you see yourself more being reassured about the way you're receiving that love, you know? Of course, you should have somehow a percentage in each category that you show your love through or receive it. But there's always this one love language where you feel the more reassured in. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And that's important to show it to the other partner, so you tell them, like, look, my way of showing my love and of receiving it is like this. So if it's not the love language of the other partner, they know that they should maybe work more on this one.
Yes,
And
that's
the
what
same
I
way
meant.
around.
To
That's what I was
work on it,
yeah,
exactly.
that's what I was explaining as well. That's why it's important to discover in what love language you see yourself more, so you can try to work it out better with your partner if you're looking for something serious with them.
Yes,
You know?
exactly. Because if not, then it's definitely not a match.
Yeah. And not just, again, on a romantic level, it could be a friendship as well. Like, imagine us, for example.
Oh no, I have other example, not us. Imagine a friend that leaves you on scene
Oh my
and
god.
doesn't communicate. Like you ask them something and they respond the next day or something like that. That would never work
Yeah.
out. Like you would never,
We'd never be friends.
you will never get to that point in a friendship to feel confident into opening up a conversation that it's deep through like texts or something, or to ever go to them like, oh my god, I feel like this, I need to talk to someone. You will never go to that friend.
Because you'd always be scared to be just left unsent, and then overthinking shit like, oh my god, should I have actually opened up to them, or what the fuck am I doing? Like, it feels like they're turning their back to you, you know? Like, they don't give a shit even.
So it is important to, at the end, it is important to know your love language, but I'm still not, because some people don't even talk about love languages as in a term, like, what is this, you know? When you
Mhm.
ask someone, what's your love languages, and they're like, what is a love language? Some people don't know about it, but it's good to know it, like, in the back of your head.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
this is how I show my love.
yeah, I think even if it's not maybe put into a term with an explanation and a whole
Exactly.
as
You should
scientific
know.
book about it, you should somehow in the back of your head have that thought that explains the way you show your love to the other person,
Like,
because everyone should have it.
what is that thing in a relationship that makes you fold? Is it when they give you something? Is it when they say something to you? Is it when they touch you somehow? Is it when you just get to see them, spend some time with them,
Mhm.
and then after you leave, you feel so euphoric and whatever? In this kind of terms, people should know what their love language is so they can create deeper connections with other people and get to know people on a deeper side.
Yeah.
Like, how can I get closer to them? How can they get closer to me?
It's
And
rather
it's all based on communication
rather
and
than just like
experiencing.
building up relationships. It's also good for like just self-reflection and self-growth as well, because it just helps you discover yourself more and see in which places you feel more fulfilled, in which categories you feel more loved or more reassured. Like, it's a self-reflection type of thing, and a communication and relationship skill as well, to just realize what love language is yours.
Yes.
But
But
if we look at it like this and we say that maybe some people don't really know about love languages in a scientific term with in a whole ass explanation and categories like this, and maybe they have a thought in in the back of their head about it, do you think this leads me to this question? Do you think that maybe some people would then come up with like a sixth love language or a seventh or eighth and etc.?
oh,
Like, do you think this way there could be more love languages to exist rather than the fives?
do you think there's a sixth love language that could be put to the list, like added to
Yeah,
the list?
yeah.
Which one would that be?
I think empathy.
Oh, and explain.
So, I think, first of all, to explain this, it's important to like realize how different it is to be, or how different sympathy and empathy are. Because for sympathy, it's like you're showing emotional support towards the person, but in a passive way. Like maybe if you come and tell me that you had a bad day today, or you got a bad grade at school and you're feeling really sad, etc. If I come to you and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you," it's like showing emotional support, but in a passive way with like distance. Like I feel sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
But as an empath, you would be like, I feel how you feel. I experienced this before. You shouldn't feel down. It will be just some time and it will pass. You should work on yourself. Blah blah blah. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like acting more actively in the emotions expressed through the other person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like this category of being an empath and an emotional supporter like this could be a sixth love language for me. Like I feel like it's really important because it just involves providing the other person more understanding for them, more validation to say, and support also. And as I said again, this type of active listening and involving yourself in their feelings shows how much the person really cares about you and how much you're important for them.
Yes, like they don't just want you to
Like they don't.
forget about it completely
Yeah,
and work on it
yeah,
yourself
yeah, yeah.
completely.
Exactly. And I feel like being being a passive listener towards to a person, and like being like not showing empathy, basically showing sympathy, is somehow showing pity towards the person. You know, like I feel sorry for you. You know,
Yeah.
it's showing more pity than actual support.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why it's like I feel more important for me that a person that I would like to be having a deeper connection with them, to be more empathetic towards me, because I'm also such an empath. Like I would literally cry for other people's problem if they are like, if these people are really important for me. It happened to me before as well, like that I cried, for example, when something happened with Elena. I don't know, maybe I didn't show it to her, but after maybe she told me, and
No, he didn't show it.
I was having conversation with her, and she was telling me about something bad that happened to her or something. I don't know. We hang up and I was crying maybe because I just feel connected emotionally. I'm not just feeling pity and like, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah,
Work
you
on
should
it.
try to fix it. I don't know. And then I forget about it throughout the day. Like, no, I feel emotionally attached to the person and I have them on my mind and I'm thinking of them. How could I help them maybe? How
Yeah.
could I push up their mood? You know?
Yeah, and like maybe later on they come back and be like, how's it working?
Yeah.
Did you solve that
Mm-hmm.
problem? How are you feeling now?
Mm-hmm.
You feel better? You see it wasn't that bad, yada yada.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Valid.
If that would be a sixth love language, it would be for sure. Like the list would change completely, the ranking that we did before, because I think this category is really important. What about you?
Well, I think there could be a sixth one for me as well. For example, when people are matching your interests because you are interested in this kind of things. Like, I maybe have a hobby that you don't like and you don't pursue.
And they start getting into it because of you.
Yes.
Okay.
And they maybe, I don't know. For example, I really like billiards. Let's put myself in this
Mhm.
example. And you don't.
Yeah.
Like, he really doesn't like billiards. And I'm always bragging about it. Oh my God, I want to play. And maybe one day you're like, oh my God, Elena, what should we do today? And you come up with the idea. I was like, oh, let's play billiards. And I'm like, no way you want to play this. And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. You can teach me, whatever. I'd feel over the moon, to be honest,
Mm.
to just see that you start getting interested and maybe not interested, but
Just at least doing it for
the
you,
yeah,
because you're gonna be happy that I'm sharing such moment, doing an activity that you like with you. You know?
exactly. Like, just when they actually do something for you. For example, I am reading this book and they read the book like they are not readers. They
Mhm.
don't read ever in their life. And I'm just talking about this book so much and I'm like, oh my God, many people should read this book and it's so good. And then they one day tell me that I bought this book because you told me, and I don't know, and they start reading with me or for me or whatever reason, but because of me.
Is this play about us?
A little bit, but just an example,
Mhm.
because it could be in many other ways said, you know.
Yeah, that's valid totally, because I feel the same way about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It just shows how, as well, like how important you are for the person, because who the fuck would change their hobbies or habits if they are not really feeling influenced by you in a good way?
Yeah, so
And-
why would you want to do something you don't like
Yeah.
for a person?
Yeah.
Like,
Then
how much
I'm
do you
important
like?
for you, like you like me and shit, you know.
Exactly. And so this was it about the love languages.
Yeah, I think that was enough. We talked about it really good.
Even though I would talk about it
We
so much.
we could take more time to talk about it.
I
even.
loved this topic so much. Thank you, Khan, for giving us this topic.
Thank you.
We, as we said before, we're open for suggestions, and we actually took this one in consideration.
Yes. And we took many other topics in consideration as well from Khan and other people. So
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. And if you have any ideas or topics that you would like us to talk about in the next episodes, of course, as we said before, we are open and you can just DM us on IG or text us if you have our number.
Yes, on Free Therapy podcast or on our private accounts. It doesn't matter. Just let us know somehow.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you so
for
much.
listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.